Welcome to Local Point, your life, your stories, with your host, Chris Piner.
Welcome to Local Point. I'm your host, Chris Piner. Today on the show, we have the cast from the Uintah High Theater production of The Music Man. And I'm so happy to have two of the actors here with me. Of course, our viewers, I think, by now know I also am the director of the Uintah High School Theater, so it's always good to have my kids on here. I'm going to just have each of you quickly introduce yourselves. So Ammon, we'll start with you, and then Sarah.
Okay.
And the character that you're playing.
I'm Ammon Smith. I play Marcellus, which is it's kind of the comic relief, I'd say. There's a couple in there, but one of the main comic reliefs, and he's a pretty fun character.
Kind of classic sidekick character to Professor Harold Hill. What's Marcellus's last name?
It's Washburn.
You do know that. I thought I'd catch you. Good job. Bonus points for Marcellus Washburn. Nice job, Ammon. And Sarah, tell us about you and your character.
So I'm Sarah Larson, and I play Ethel Toffelmeyer in the show. So Ethel is one of the kind of ladies in the town, kind of like one of the gossipy ladies, kind of like the group you'll always see at like church on Sunday, always talking about what happened in their week. And she's also Marcellus's girlfriend, and so we're kind of, in most scenes, like a dynamic duo of sorts.
That's true. That's true. And you even have a dance number together, right? You get to dance together. Yeah, it's a fun pairing of the two. You don't get to ask your character name, your last name. You said it right there. Toffelmeyer and Washburn. This, of course, is The Music Man by the great American composer and playwright and lyricist Meredith Wilson. So now let's cover the basic information. What are the dates of the show, Sarah?
So opening night is October 24th, and all the shows start at 7 o'clock, and it starts on the 24th, like I said, and goes the 25th, 26th, 27th, and then there's two performances on the 28th, one at 2 p.m. and one at 7 p.m.
Yeah, what do you think about that day, Ammon? That's going to be a long day for you guys.
Yeah, it's going to be fun is what it's going to
be. Two full
be.
performances, and yeah, you're going to have a good time with the public that way. Well, it's such a great show, a lot of fun. 7 o'clock, October 24th through the 28th. How can people get tickets if they'd like to come and see it?
Well, they'd have to go online to the site.
Right, that could be like the district website, uintah.net, www.uintah.net, or the high school website, uintaghigh.net. And there's a link right there on the homepage for that. And what do they do then?
Well, they pick their seat, and which every seat has different prices.
Thank you.
And they credit to who they want to buy the seat from.
That's true. At the end of the purchase, you can credit a cast or crew member with the sale, and they're all expected to sell a certain number of tickets. But that is the key. I was hoping you'd mention that the tickets are specific for the night and the seats, so you can reserve which seat you want to sit in. It's a new thing that was started last year. Yeah, very good. The tickets vary in price, anywhere from $6 to about $14, depending on the night and the place where you sit. Well, both of you must have a favorite part of the show. What do you like, Sarah? What's your favorite part of the Music Man, or the entire experience of rehearsing and putting on a musical?
Well, I think I'm going to specify with Music Man, just because I've done so many different shows that it's all different, yet all the same. But with Music Man, I think one of my favorite parts is all of Act 2, just because that's when you get to see more like of Ethel with like the group and how she is with the town, and kind of she gets to show more of her personality. Right. Like with the Grecian urns, she gets to kind of put herself out there more, which at that time period in 1912, ladies kind of like kept themselves more reserved, more kind of back to themselves.
You think Ethel's reserved?
I think she...
Not so much,
not,
really.
Not so much, really, no.
Wait until you see Sarah and the way she portrays it. All right, Ammon, what about you with Marcellus? Do you have a favorite part of the show?
Yeah, my favorite part of the show, well, I guess my favorite part of my character, really, would be my relationship with the characters. Like my relationship with Harold Hill. I'm kind of like a sidekick, and we have a past.
That's right.
And I'm I'm frantic about him like leaving because I don't want him to go to jail, but also
That's right.
I don't want to get in trouble myself.
And of course, you sing Shapoopy.
Yeah.
And you do such a great job. Everybody loves Shapoopy. All right, you too. I'm glad you came today. We're going to talk a little bit more with a couple other cast members of The Music Man. Stay tuned.
The Vernal Area Chamber wants to add your business in our network. Create change with various committees. Participate in community events and have a strong business resource behind your company's goals. Learn more at vernalchamber.org.
We are the people behind the connection. You may never see us, but you are always on our minds. Because you are the reason we do what we do. Improving the way you connect is the reason we are always working. Why we are always building. Why we are always striving to give you the best. We are the people behind the connection, working together to connect your life.
Welcome back to Local Point. Before the break, we were discussing the Uintah High Theater production of The Music Man, running October 24th through the 28th. We visited with a few of the cast members, and now we have two more. Professor Harold Hill, Aiden Piner, and Marion the librarian, Peru, Aspen Palmer. Good to have you both on Local Point.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, I know you've done this before. Aspen, is this your first time on the show? Well, welcome especially. Let's just jump right into it, you two. We talked a little bit about some of the specifics, when it's running, how to get tickets before. We'll recap that again. But Aspen, tell us a little bit about throw out some of the songs. This is a musical, a great American musical. What are some of the songs our viewers might be familiar with?
So I think one of the biggest numbers that you guys might be familiar with is probably Shapoopy, the big dance number at the beginning of Act 1.
Act 2?
Oh, Act 2. And then another one might be probably 76 Trombones.
Oh, yes.
Or Goodnight My Someone, one of the ones that I get to do.
That your character gets to sing in My White Knight. Any other songs you can throw in there?
I would think Light a Rose.
Oh,
the
yes.
old song, you know.
Yeah. And of course, you got Trouble.
Oh, yeah, you got
right?
Trouble.
You got to have that one.
Yeah.
You got Trouble, the Sadder But Wiser Girl, and the Rock Island sequence on the train in the beginning. So many hits, song after song after song.
Classics.
And great dances and a good feel to it, right? It feels very patriotic.
Yeah.
It takes place on the 4th of July. Aiden, tell us just basically the synopsis. What is The Music Man about?
Well, a man comes into town and tries to sell River City, the band, and he's
River City being a place,
yes,
the location of the show. He tries to sell
Iowa,
the people
of River City, a band, and they're stubborn, chip on the shoulder Iowans, and turns out he's not the most honest guy, and he plans to leave town before any band, but we'll see
and by
what
band
happens.
you mean instruments and uniforms and that kind of thing. He's
Instruction
going to skip out of
books
town before
Yeah.
they actually learn anything. He's just going to collect the money and go.
Yeah.
But what's the problem? There's always a problem in a story. What happens?
Love. Isn't that the answer to all?
And that in comes the lovely and talented Aspen Palmer playing Marion the librarian. That's right. And so it's a great American story, such fun, great songs, great music. Do either of you two have a favorite part in the show or the experience? What do you think, Aspen?
My favorite song that we get to do is definitely Light a Rose, because it's just a big turning point, kind of, and you just see the character kind of develop and like the true Marion just coming out, and it's just fun and just...
Spoken like a true actress. They're looking for the character arc, when their character changes a little bit. I agree, and that's done with a wonderful barbershop quartet. And we have four great actors, Gus, Preston, Woodrow, and Caleb, that are our quartet members, and they're doing such a fine job on a very difficult style of music. How about you, Aiden? Favorite part?
So it's not much of a favorite part of the show just in general, but you were able to perform as Harold Hill a while back, and since I I get to follow in your footsteps and just do that. I would say that's my favorite part, and just kind of being the next generation as a Harold Hill. It's not only an honor, but it's a lot of fun. And
I'm glad you said that. Well, it's for me, that's also a favorite part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think we'd try just a little bit together? Can we bat back and forth some?
I don't know.
How about a little bit of trouble?
Well, either you're closing your eyes to a situation you do not wish to acknowledge,
or you were not aware of the caliber of disaster
indicated by the presence of a pool table in your community. Well, you got trouble, my friends.
Right here,
see trouble right here in River City. Why,
that's
sure,
enough. You got to come back and see the show to see
Yeah.
the rest, and you'll get to see the one who really does a great job of it.
Oh.
It's always fun, isn't it? Now, let's recap. The dates are
October 24th through 28th, and on the 28th there's 2 performances, one at 2
2 p.m.
and 1 at 7.
and 7. That's right. And come early. We open the doors half an hour early, so you can come in, take your seat, enjoy the program, right? Read of that a little bit and soak in the atmosphere. There'll be some nice music playing. And all right, how do you get tickets?
You go to either the school district's website, uintah.net, or the high school's website, that's uintaghigh.net.
Very good. Is there any other way to get tickets?
You can get them at the box office, but get them ahead. And
Get them ahead, but you can get them at the door as well.
Yeah.
That's right. Thanks, you guys, for coming. And all of our the rest of our cast and crew. We thank you for watching Local Point. Stay tuned for this week's community calendar.
We are the people behind the connection. You may never see us, but you are always on our minds. Because you are the reason we do what we do. Improving the way you connect is the reason we are always working. Why we are always building. Why we are always striving to give you the best. We are the people behind the connection, working together to connect your life.
The Vernal Area Chamber wants to add your business in our network. Create change with various committees. Participate in community events and have a strong business resource behind your company's goals. Learn more at vernalchamber.org.
Hello, my friends in the Uintah Basin. Welcome to this week's Community Calendar, sponsored by the Vernal Area Chamber of Commerce. You can contact the Vernal Chamber to get the support you need to help your business grow. Hey, look, it's sweater weather. We're going to get to some changes in the weather here in a second, but first let's get into the weekend schedule. Starting Friday, October 27th, Uintah High Theater presents The Music Man. Our very own Chris Piner and his wife Barbara and their son Aiden, who plays the part of Professor Harold Hill, are presenting The Music Man. You know that Uintah Theater, they do such a good job every year. They do an amazing show, and this year they've got one in the fall and then in the spring. So this is your fall show. It's running from October 24th through the 28th. I've watched some of the stuff on Facebook, and it's going to be amazing. It always is. Get your tickets. Uintaghigh.net. The show starts at 7 p.m. each of those nights that it's performing. Also on Friday, it's the Family Harvest Party from 6:30 to 8 p.m. happening in the Uintah Basin Christian Academy parking lot. There's going to be food and games for kids. You know, there's a lot happening, right, as we're coming up into Halloween and, of course, just the overall festive season of October, November, December, because then on October 28th, Saturday, right here, you got the Jensen Pumpkin Festival, and this is a huge deal. That runs from 5:30 to 7 p.m. at the Jensen Park. There's going to be a lot of people, but that's what makes it fun. Lots of displays and food and games and a whole lot more. Hopefully they have another bonfire. That was fun. Also on Saturday, you've got the Halloween Carnival happening. So if you can't make it out to Jensen and you're between Vernal and Roosevelt, there's a Halloween Carnival happening from 5 to 8 p.m. at the Ute Crossing Event Center. And they've always got good stuff going on there too. Now, moving on to next week, Monday, October 30th to November 5th. It's here. It's finally here. This is Halloween. This is Halloween. 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 I'm so excited. Halloween. Tuesday, October 31st, of course, it's Halloween. Lots of activities happening on Halloween. We have the Mayor's Walk at the Recreation Center in Vernal. That happens at 4 p.m. Plenty enough time to be able to get out and do real trick-or-treating later on. But also don't forget that they have the Halloween Parade in downtown Vernal from 3 to 5 p.m. Is it actually lasting 2 hours? That's just what's written. Maybe make sure you're there by 3. I kind of don't think that maybe a parade's going to last for 2 hours. That's a long parade. On Friday, oh wait, back up. We're still on Tuesday. Because after the Mayor's Walk and the parade, go trick-or-treating. Come by my house. I'll give you some candy. Now, if you've recovered from your sugar-induced coma that happens between here and here, maybe you'll have woken up by Friday. Because on Friday, November 3rd, we have Night at the Museum at the Uintah Fieldhouse. This is a fun activity to do. Starts at 6:30. They're going to be showing Despicable Me 3. If you haven't seen it yet, it's another cute one in the series of Despicable Me's. Also on Friday, Vernal Theater Live. Is that on here? Oh yeah, because it's right on it. If you're not going to go to this, make sure you go to this. This is the opening night of the musical comedy Murders of 1940 at the Downtown Theater in Vernal, live theater. And don't let the name confuse you. Musical comedy Murders of 1940. This is heavy on the comedy, light on the musical, and moderate on the murders. It's a very, very funny show. I get to be a part of it. And let's see, what can I tell you about it? There are a lot of surprises. There are a lot of accents. There is a lot of hilarity that ensues. Kind of like the movie Clue. If you ever seen the movie Clue, this is like it's not Clue, but it's just, it's like a Nancy Drew murder mystery, but it's really funny. It's not like gruesome. That's a lot of information. Go see it. And if you can't see it this day, make sure you see it on Saturday, because it's both days. And if you can't see it on that day, then the week after, we're going to be doing it then too. Okay, let's move on to weekend weather, shall we? So here you see, Friday got really cold. What you don't see on here is Thursday. Thursday we had a bunch of wind come in and drop our temperatures down. So they're going to stay down in the low 50s until we get into Sunday. They're going to start going back up again. Our lows are going to range from 29 degrees up to 36 degrees. 29 degrees, guess what that means? You're in freezing weather. Next week, things stay about, mid 50s, right? If we look at here, you're going to see 60 all the way through. You get down to 55, back down to 50. What happens here into the next week is that we drop down into the 40s, and we have our first chance of actual snowfall, like in the valley area, not up in the mountains. So next week, it's going to be cold, but the week after that, it's going to be like really cold. All right. Some things for you to look forward to after this week. Looking ahead, we have the annual Election Day Turkey Dinner at Western Park from 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. What this is that on Election Day, they make these awesome turkey dinners, the kind of dinner that you would have for Christmas or for Thanksgiving, and you can go there and eat it, or you can go and pick up one. What my work does is we always go and get like a bunch of them and take them all back to the shop, and everybody gets a dinner. That was a lot of information about this. This is to come. We'll tell you more about this next week. November 24th, that's kind of far ahead, but it's holidays, and so we got to start talking about holidays, because that's a huge deal here in Vernal. Lots of stuff going on then. And then, of course, the 24th and 25th, we got Santa's Workshop and Craft Fair happening. And then Trees for Charity, Auction and Gala, November 27th. Wow, you know what? We hit October, especially the end of October, and suddenly it's like, cool thing, cool thing, cool thing, cool thing, one right after another. Just a lot going on. And those are the events we have for right now for this week's community calendar. If you've got an event coming up, let us know. 435-781-1902. Or you can leave a comment below. Thank you for watching. Like VTV6 on Facebook. We're going to see you here next time. Go see Music Man, and then go see Musical Comedy Murders of 1940. Hey, see you here next week.